Hi there, good afternoon, and you've tuned into ET now, and this is Market Fatafat with me, Shail D'Souza. Along with me, I have Shrishti Sharma. Very good afternoon to you, Shrishti. And if you look at the markets, ever since we last spoke with each other, that's around 11, 12 o'clock, the markets have done absolutely nothing. They are moving in the similar price range, and that color should not be blue. It should be red for you. We are actually in the negative territory. 0.8% downtick coming in for the benchmark indices. Is the broader markets as well that are seeing a lot of pressure in trade today, though a slight bit of recovery coming in for the small cap index and the mid cap index. Nevertheless, the pain over there also is pretty sharp. Ditto coming in for benchmarks. It's the Nifty Bank index that is actually outperforming the benchmark indices as well as broader markets. As you can see on your screen, in a short while from now, you'll see the bank, Nifty Bank. That one is seeing a decline of about 0.3% or so as compared to the sharp downtick that the benchmark indices and the broader markets are logging in. Let's talk about some of the sectoral indices. In fact, all the sectors are in the negative territory, Shrishti, with you have the PSU sector seeing a sharp cut in trade today. You have the IT index also that's under pressure. There you go, 2.6% downtick coming in for the IT sector. The PSU sector now trying to recover a tad bit from the day's lowest point. Take a look at realty, auto. There is no respite in any of those sectors in today's trading session. But let's keep an eye out on a lot of individual stocks, isn't it?
Well, yes, and we're going to be highlighting all these counters in the next 1 hour, viewers. And with this, let's go across and welcome on board our technical expert for today, that is Osho Krishan, as well as on the research side, we are being joined by Ankita as well as Snehi. A very good afternoon to all three of you, and let's kickstart the show then, and let's start highlighting all the stocks that are buzzing. The first stock that we're going to be talking about today is from the broader market space, and if we look at the move that is coming in on AU Small Finance Bank, this counter was also in focus on the back of its analyst meet, where they have gone ahead to come out with the revenue guidance in FY24 and 27, where they say that the deposits, the advances rather, will see a year-on-year growth of 23 to 25%, and similar kind of a growth they are expecting on the deposit front. They are saying that the core business credit cost is likely to see an impact on that particular front. And other than that, they are also highlighting that there could be strong growth for the company when it comes to their advances as well as on their deposit front. So that is AU Small Finance Bank. The stock did start the day in the green, but nevertheless, with the markets, the stock is seeing a cut of around 0.6%.
All right, the next stock that is in focus, Osho, is Indus Towers. And how is this one looking on the charts to you, and what's the outlook coming in for this one?
Very good afternoon, everyone. Well, talking about the technical developments in Indus Tower, then this counter has been in the cycle of higher highs, higher lows, currently hovering above the 20-day exponential moving average on the daily time frame. So overall, in the recent period, we have seen a decent correction from the zone of 270 towards 225, 230 odd levels, and from there onwards, there has been a very strong pullback that can be seen in this counter. So I am expecting that currently it is hovering around 250, but I am expecting that from here onwards it should continue its upward march towards the zone of 265, 270 on immediate basis. And once it surpasses the zone of 270, then from there onwards another 30 point of rally can be seen in the coming future. So 270 followed by 300 is the target for short to medium term time frame.
All right, that's the take coming in on Indus Towers, but let's shift focus and let's talk about the OMC space. Shrishti, you have the crude oil prices that have seen a spike, and no points for guessing that you have the OMCs that are actually under pressure, immense pressure in trade today. And remember, the things have not been going that great coming in for any of these OMC counters. You saw the fuel price cut also take place back home, and now you have the crude prices that are at a 4-month high, which doesn't all go well for our OMCs. Therefore, they are seeing a sharp decline. No doubt, they've tried to recover from the day's lowest point. BPCL, remember, was among the top loser on the Nifty. It still persists to be a top loser on the Nifty. Remember, the price of crude oil prices, which is the primary input for refiners, saw an uptick of about 2% or so in yesterday's overnight trading session, and taking the crude oil prices to a 4-month high. And oil prices moving up is result in a squeeze for the oil marketing companies. The input costs will go up, the output is at a fixed price, so the margins will get squeezed. This is what a note from an Ambit Capital analyst actually mentioned. Also, The Brent crude prices, however, today is a little subdued in trade today. The fact that you have crude oil price at 4-month high, they had to take a price cut back home, not auguring well for the companies.
All these ONCs under pressure, but moving on then, and let's shift focus to CRISIL then. And Osho, this is the counter we don't discuss very often about it, but the stock is down more than 4% in today's trading session. Tell us, how is the technical setup looking like?
See, overall, this counter has seen a very magnificent upsurge in the month of February. From the zone of nearly 4,000, it has surged towards 5,100 in a span of 1 month. And post that, it has been consolidating in a very narrow zone. But looking at the technical development, it can be seen that this counter is in the formation of making a flat pattern. So any breakthrough above the zone of 5,100 can give a very strong boost in this counter, and approximately 5,400 should be acting as the first resistance or can be seen as the target, followed by 5,800 from short to medium term time frame. Even on the downside, it is having a very strong support of nearly 4,800, which should be acting as a very strong support, and one should try to accumulate it towards the support zone for a higher target of 5,400 from short to medium term time frame.
All right, moving on, then let's talk about IOL Chemicals, Snehi, and what's the news spec behind this particular entity today?
Well, it's a positive news flow coming in, Cheryl, and that will be very visible from the way the stock has surged today, up 13% as we speak. That's the updated chart. And this comes in after Brazilian health regulatory agency, which is ANVISA, has successfully completed the GMP audit of the company's 10 APIs manufacturing units situated at Barnala, which is in Punjab. Now, the inspection was conducted from 11th of March to 15th March, and at the end of the inspection, this agency has given 0 observations for IOL Chemicals, so no problem over there. Nothing has been flagged off. There is nothing going wrong with that, and this is on the base of the inspection that was carried out by the Brazilian healthcare agency. So on the back of this positive news flow, the stock has been up and away, even right now at the highest point of the day's trading session, up 13% as we speak.
Alright then, moving on, and let's shift focus to what Bajaj Auto is doing in Osho. This is the stock that you have picked up, and how is this stock looking on the charts? No stopping, as you can see in the past 6 months, already a run-up of 70%.
See, overall, this counter is maintaining the cycle of higher highs and has been hovering above the 21-day exponential moving average from quite a long time. So it has been maintaining its uptrend, and any dip towards the zone of 21-day exponential moving average is auguring very well for this counter. So I am expecting that in the near period, as we have seen in the last 3 days, there has been a very strong reversal in this counter. So I am expecting not very much aggressive for the targets, but I am expecting 8850 to 9000 to be seen in this counter in the coming positional days for, let's say, 1 to 2 weeks. While on the downside, the support is very near. Approximately 8200 should be acting as a support zone for this counter. So for short-term perspective, one should definitely look for a buyer's view in Bajaj Auto.
All right, let's talk about the stock of the day. Rightly so, it has to be TCS, Ankita, and what exactly has transpired when you talk about the block deal?
Absolutely, Cheryl. TCS has to be the stock of the day. In fact, the stock is knocked down more than 3.5% in trade as we speak. Let's look at what happened on the block deal front. In fact, the news came in, post-market hours yesterday only. But let's see what the block deal says. Well, Tata Sons have sold 2 crore TCS shares in the block deal, causing a 3% drop actually since morning. The deal is likely to be worth around 9,000 crore rupees at an average share price of 4,043 rupees per share. Now, Tata Sons previously owned 72.38% stake in TCS. While there is no official clarification for the reason behind the stake sale yet, it is believed that the fundraising could be to power the debt and even may help the conglomerate avoid the Tata Sons IPO. Well, the analysts also believe that the stake sale is to the tune of 0.6% of the total paid up capital of the company, which won't have much of an impact on the financials of the Indian IT major. And of course, in the block of that big block deal coming in, TCS is knocked down in trade almost 4%.
Well, yes, TCS is down and out in trade, and also the IT pack overall is a bit under pressure, but very clearly the steel sector is shining, and we are seeing great moves on this one. And even Osho has one of the counter, that is Jindal Steel, on charts. Osho, tell us more. How is that stock looking on the technical front?
See, overall, as you have mentioned, that metal spaces have started gaining from the last 2 trading sessions. Jindal Steel specifically have corrected from the zone of 850 towards 760, which has acted as a very strong support zone, which is also 50-day exponential moving average and the previous swing low. So the cycle of higher highs, higher lows has been very strongly maintained in this counter, and I am expecting that from here onwards, again this counter looks very poised to test the 850 odd levels in the coming period. So for short-term duration, one should definitely try to accumulate it for a higher target of 850, while 760 should be kept as the stop loss for short-term traders.
Right, and we are back with the latest edition of Times Now Summit. Remember, over the years, Times Now Summit has been championing pertinent national agenda points where India's leadership, leading thinkers, as well as national influencers come together to define the action plan for India's progress. This year's theme, it is India Unstoppable, and we will be focusing on charting India's remarkable journey and its increasing influence on the global stage. So join us on the 27th and the 28th of March in New Delhi and watch the who's who of the political corridors share their views. Do stay tuned with us for all the highlights and all the action as the action begins here only on Times Network. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now. Let's put the spotlight then on another Tata group of companies, and that is Tata Communications. Osho, how is the chart for Tata Communications looking to you right now? No doubt that we've had all of these counters in focus over the last few trading sessions.
See, overall, Tata Communication has seen a breakout in the month of, at the starting of this month, on 7th of March, from the zone of approximately 1920 odd levels. And with the recent correction, it has retested the neckline of the breakout. So I'm expecting that from here onwards, again, another set of rallies should be continued in this counter. Overall, this counter was looking very strong till yesterday, but because of Tata Group overall sell-off for the day, there has been some kind of a selling pressure that can be seen just for the day. But I'm expecting for a longer duration, the higher target rises. The higher target is approximately around the zone of 2000, and once it surpasses the zone of 2000, then from there onwards another 200 point of rally can be seen. While on the downside, 1870, 1860 should be acting as a very strong support for this counter.
Alright, moving on then, and let's shift focus to Page Industries then. And Page Industries is in focus after the Analyst meet and Citi's note, where Citi is not sounding that positive on Page Industries. What they're highlighting is that the demand environment remains subdued and the volume decline is relatively higher in the athlete wear compared to the innerwear segment. They are also saying that the aspiration to reach 8,000 crores in the top line might get shifted to FY28 versus company's guidance of FY27. Now, they believe that the near-term EBITDA margin may get impacted due to the investments in the IT initiatives, the company's Salesforce implementation, and they also highlight that the consumers likely have the perspective now that Jockey's products do not offer value for money anymore. Now, new customer acquisition in men's innerwear is also subdued, so they are not sounding that positive. There are some challenges related to the business and the growth environment, and that's why we are seeing a cut of almost 2% in a stock of Page Industries.
All right, let's move on. Then Osho, let's talk about Triveni Turbine, and how is this one looking at the charts to you?
Overall, this counter is looking very positive. The trend for this counter is very aggressive, and it has been hovering in a very strong manner from the past few trading months, currently hovering above all its exponential moving average and near to its 52-week high also. So today onwards, we have seen a very drastic upsurge that has been backed by strong volume. So from here onwards, I am expecting that the time it surpasses the zone of 500, there could be a strong rally that should be associated to it for a further rally of towards 525 to 540 on immediate basis. While on the downside, 490, 480 should be acting as a very strong support zone.
All right, let's shift focus and let's talk about JBM Auto, because that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. It saw a sharp up move in trade today, and that's one of the reasons being that the unit is bagged an order worth about 904 million dollars. If you see, the stock actually saw an uptick of as much as 10% on an intraday basis. No doubt given up some of the gains as the rest of the markets. They've said that the unit bagged an order worth about 7,500 crore rupees for the supply of 1,390 electric buses. Remember that as of Friday's close, the company the stock had already logged a 3-state weekly loss. But today, on back of this particular order win, you saw the stock actually see a sharp spike. In fact, Jindal Stainless also is another counter that will be on focus on back of the similar order win.
All right, that is JBM Motors for you. We're moving on from the finance space. Osho, Shriram Finance is on your radar. Tell us more, how is the chart looking like?
The overall, this counter has been in my radar from quite a long time as of now. It has been consolidating in a very narrow zone of 250 to 200 odd points. From the zone of 2250 and on the higher zone 2500 is acting as a very strong resistance. So from here onwards, as the counter is at a support zone, so I'm expecting that from here onwards, a 2500 should be seen as the first target for a fresh buyer in this counter. And the time it breaches the zone of 2500, then another set of 250, 300 odd points can be seen. So for medium term perspective, 2800 is the target that I am expecting in Shriram Finance. And on the lower end, 2200 to 2250 should be acting as a very strong support zone.
All right, so that is Shriram Finance. Nehi, let's talk about Pamal Pharma, and this particular counter is in focus on Jefferies' note, isn't it?
Absolutely, Cheryl. A brokerage note coming out of Jefferies this morning on Pamal Pharma. They've gone ahead, maintained their buy rating with a target price of 170 rupees per share. Now, the stock is seeing a little bit of a pressure because although the note is not entirely negative, there are some triggers that have been mentioned in the note. And there's debate over the FY25 guidance given macro uncertainty around outsourcing model. And they're saying that this 12.5% revenue growth for FY25 is possible, but they also believe that Piramal can do better. They're saying a 15% revenue growth could drive 45% EBITDA growth in FY25. Although, however, the risk reward looks attractive for this stock. So, pardon me, the stock is up and away 3.6% on the back of this rather fair note that is coming out of Jefferies for Pamal Pharma.
Well, yes, Jefferies bullish on Pamal Pharma and looking at more than 40% upside even from the current levels. So let's keep an eye out on that. For moving on, let's focus to Union Bank. Then, Osho, the whole banking space is a little under pressure, but do you believe that Union Bank is up for a rebound for now?
See, overall, as you have mentioned, that majority of the PSU banks are in a consolidation phase as of now, but overall the undertone remains bullish in major of the companies. If I'll be talking about Union Bank, then it has been moving in a positive trajectory, getting support from the 50-day exponential moving average, which on level front lies around the zone of 140 odd levels. So from here onwards, I am expecting that there will be a gradual up move, not a very aggressive move that can be seen, but on a gradual move, I am expecting 160 to 164 to be seen as the immediate target. And once it breaches the zone on a decisive manner, then from there onwards another 20 point of rally can be seen, but 160-64 should be seen as the first target for Union Bank.
All right, so that's the target that you can eye out for Union Bank. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. More stocks to discuss on the other side. Don't go anywhere.